Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about eyebrow extensions. We focus a lot on lashes, but eyebrows are actually an awesome service you could add to your menu. They don't take very much time and the before and afters are amazing. So it's pretty easy. If you know how to do classic lashes, you can quickly watch this video and pick up how to do the eyebrow extensions and do a great add-on for your clients. Typically, a service for eyebrows will take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. And you would start out by cleaning up the brow, waxing, and then tinting if needed. So to get started, you're gonna need our Lash X Eyebrow Extension Kit. In here is pretty much everything you're gonna need. You've got your isolating tweezer, your X tweezer, which if you guys haven't used these before, you'll be a little frustrated. They're backwards. So basically when you squeeze them, it releases the hair. And when you let go, it will grab the hair. So getting used to these is really important. And I actually have all my students train with these for classic lashes, because if you're working a lot, you're doing 6 to 10 people a day, it will really save your shoulders and your wrist from getting pain. So X tweezers are key. And here you do get 2 shades. You get the brown and the black, which are the most popular. And it's a little deceiving because on a lot of blondes, like my beautiful model here. What's your Instagram?
Glossed Angeles.
Glossed Angeles. We have this beauty. And KAYLA is blonde, but you can see most blondes, we have a little bit darker brows. So we actually do the light brown. It's gonna be a better match for her. If we did the gold, it would be almost too light. So you get the brown and the black in your kit, but then we also offer gold. We have, I'm just whipping these up, you guys probably can't see. We have gray, we have silver for those silver foxes. Sometimes I'll mix the silver and black for men to get that salt and pepper look. You could even, I brought these over to show you, could even use some of the J curl in the wine if you want to do like wine or blue or purple to do kind of a fun, colorful look. Okay, so also in your kit is your small adhesive and a brow tweezer. So that's basically everything you're going to need. You'll notice this is the same adhesive that we use for the lashes. We also sell a brow adhesive, but honestly, it's the same thing. Because our adhesive is fume-free, it's safe for sensitive eyes, and it dries clear. You can use it on colored, you can use it on bottom lashes, you could use it on volume lashes, you could use it on eyebrows, and you're gonna get the same results. These brow extensions will typically last like 3 to 4 weeks, which is a little bit shorter than our lash extensions. And the reason being is because you get a lot more movement and oils wicking up on the skin. So there you have it. That's all your supplies. And if you guys are ready, I'll get into step 1. So the first thing we want to do before we start is clean the skin. We want to remove any oils, natural oils, so that we get a good application with the adhesive and so that it lasts. So I'm just going to use a handy dandy protein remover wipe. And any makeup or oils will come off with this. Once the area is clean, we want to go ahead and look at the shape that the client has. Now, if they have no hair at all, I like to tint, because what that will do is create a drop shadow behind the eyebrows to give it more shape. KAYLA has a really pretty good brow, so we're just going to enhance it and make it more symmetrical and kind of fill it out. But for those clients that are super blonde or just have no hair, or maybe they've gone through chemo, whatever the thing is, you could actually use your tint at this stage and you make the shape. And then I let the client view it with the tint on their skin, make sure the shape is perfect. You could tweak it with a Q-tip, and then you would remove it. So we're gonna fast forward here because we don't need a tint. KAYLA's brow, she already has nice color, but this is where you'd put your tint. The second step, and if you're adding all those things, I would price them a la carte. So because not every client needs a tint or a wax or a tweeze before the service. So you could price everything separately. Just so you know, for the brows, typically a touch-up I would charge $75 and a full brow creation $125. The next thing you would do would be tweak the shake. So basically any hair that's not in line with the brow shape you want to create, you're going to either tweeze or wax. KAYLA, is it okay if I tweeze a few?
Yeah, totally.
So I'm just going to remove a few hairs that are kind of out of the line. Probably never had your brows tweezed on camera before.
Actually once.
Okay. Now, even a lot of people ask me, what do I do if the client has no brows? As long as there's a peach fuzz, you can apply one of the brow extensions. If there's no peach fuzz at all, you can't apply this service. So most people will have even the slightest little downy vellus hair that you can apply to and get the look you want. So sometimes if that's the case, the tint also helps you find those little hairs and makes the brow look fuller on its own. And at this stage, I usually trim. So what we want to create is a nice clean line on the top and the bottom of the brow. So anything that falls out of that line, you could just trim with brow scissors so that it doesn't mess up your shape. So always brush up and out. And KAYLA has pretty great brows. She doesn't need a lot of work. She's like, I just came in for lashes, and I convinced her to do this for me. Okay, so now we're ready to actually start our application. And if you're not sure the shade you want to use, it's as easy as holding up the hair and seeing if it blends. So this is the light brown I'm going to try right now. And that blends pretty well. I just want to compare it with the dark brown because her brows are a little bit darker. Okay, so we decided to go with the dark brown over the light brown. KAYLA just mentioned that she likes a little bit darker look, which I love too. I think it just makes the eyes pop, and because her eyes are a light blue, the darker color is going to really look nice. And when you place your tray to work off of, you want the logo facing you. So we're going to pick up our lash just like we would a classic lash, and then we're going to flip it over in the tweezer. And I can do one over here just so you guys can get like a close shot of that. So those of you that know me know I always use the back of the gel pads for my adhesive because I don't like cleaning anything, and I just think it's more hygienic to just throw it out each client, and it saves on less waste. Okay, so our logo is facing us just like it would with classic lashes, and we're gonna actually pick up the hair like we would with classic lashes. And I'm gonna load just like I would with a classic lash. So, oops, I lost the hair. I'm gonna swipe all the way through the adhesive. So there's adhesive on the whole concave part of the lash. So basically this lash is going to flip over and sit on the hair. So you need adhesive on the inside of the curve. So you want a little dome in your adhesive, and you want to be able to swipe the hair underneath that dome or through the dome so that the adhesive goes on the inside of the curve. Okay. So when we create our shape, you want to start from the bottom and go up. The natural direction the hair goes. You'll notice the natural hair kind of goes up and out as it gets to the arch and then down. So that's the pattern you're going to follow. And you always want to follow the natural lengths of the hair. Our brow trays have 8 to 5 in millimeters, or 5, 6, 7, and 8 millimeters, which will work for most people's natural brows. If you have someone with like extremely wide, long brows, you could use a J curl. So what I'm doing is I rolled my tweezers so the lash is now like this, and I'm going to sit right on top of a hair and kind of slide it back and forth until it catches. So I'm going to find a hair, place it right on top, and slide and release. You want to make sure your curve is going up like a mountain. If it's going to the side, it's going to look kind of crazy. So basically you want to create multiple layers where they get shorter. You don't want to just put long lashes up from the bottom because you won't have the continuity of thickness. So I might start with the 8s at the bottom of the brow, and then 7s, and then 6s, and then 5s, so they all have a nice clean line along the top of the brow. And you could do that by just kind of lifting and going in there. One way to check is I kind of squint my eyes and look for consistency and darkness. If there's anywhere that looks a little bit light or sparse, I'll know to go back in there and add more texture. So I'm starting with the 8 millimeters, and I'm working my way across the bottom to create a nice clean line. And remember when you're creating your brows, your guides. So the brow should start, if you drew an imaginary line from the nostril to the inner corner of the eye, that's about where your eyebrow should start. The highest point of your arch for most people should be nostril to the pupil. And then the eyebrow should usually end nostril to the outer corner of the eye. If the client has closer set eyes or further set eyebrows, you can play with those dimensions, but that in general is your rule of thumb for your guidelines. And of course, we want to look for symmetry. So, you know, you want to make sure that the brows match each other. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so you guys can see the result. So as you can see, guys, these make a huge difference. I actually like them better than like microblading or on top of microblading because they do have a natural texture, whereas when you do tattooing or permanent makeup, you're getting more of a flat, shiny effect. With this, you're getting that texture and that real, it looks just like real hair. As you can see, like you really can't tell the difference in photos or even in real life. So they're a really nice option for people. So what I like to do to finish up is just kind of stand up. That will give me a little more perspective to make sure she's completely symmetrical. You can use your tool to kind of create guides and just make sure everything looks perfectly symmetrical. So what I saw standing up was that this side comes down just a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple right here at the end just to make it symmetrical. And then she also has a little bit more volume through here. So I'm going to add just a few more over here just to match the volume, and I think we'll be good. And just so you guys know, for care, it's the same as lash extensions. So your client's going to keep them dry for 24 hours. The reason being is we want a nice slow cure on our adhesive so it's nice and soft and flexible and moves with the brow. So 24 hours, no water, 2 days, no steam, saunas or facials. And other than that, you just want to avoid oil getting on them, which can be tricky because it is on the face and most of us use lots and lots of skincare. And when you're washing your face, I recommend just using the lash cleanser because you know it's safe. So our last test is going to be when KAYLA sits up. We're just going to make sure her brows look perfect because sometimes when people sit, the brows move a little bit. So we'll just double check. And other than that, she's good to go. All right, KAYLA, you ready for the big reveal?
Let's see it.
Here you are.
Yay. Oh my God, I love them.
Yay!
Wow, these look awesome.
They look really good on you.
Ah, thank you.
Super natural. Just kind of open the eyes up a little bit.
Yeah, totally. I love the color too.
Well, there you have it, guys. Quick, easy service, completely face changing and really natural looking. If you like this video, found it helpful, make sure you subscribe, like below, and thanks so much for joining us. Tuning in?
Yeah.